Like the neighborhoods around it, Dorchester Avenue is getting more and more diverse, especially if you judge by places to eat. And those restaurants have played a key role in the avenue's long road to economic recovery. That's also very much the story behind plans to open a fusion restaurant in Fields Quarter known as 50 Kitchen, the winner of a competition sponsored by a group of local small businesses. We'd like to welcome the person trying to make the restaurant vision a reality, the chef and owner, Anthony Caldwell. Thank you very much for being with us, Anthony.
Thank you for having me, Chris. Appreciate it.
Speaking of recovery, talk about the road to this restaurant. What made it happen?
Oh, my faith and my past. So I didn't make some of the best decisions when I was younger. So I ended up in prison. The worst but best thing, if that makes sense, that could have ever happened to me. That's where I developed a love for cooking. So around 2010, I was crime-free, but I was struggling with alcohol, really addicted to alcohol. So based on my faith, I was at home drinking one day, and I heard the voice of God tell me, if you don't stop drinking, your career is going to go downhill and you're going to die. So I actually decided to listen to the voice of God, and on September 25th, 2011, I went to church that Sunday. I said a prayer. I asked to be delivered from alcohol. Today is July 16th, 2018. I haven't had a drop of alcohol since. Now, with that being said, once I stopped drinking and I was on the path to recovery, the voice of God spoke to me again. He said, now that you stopped drinking, I need you to do one more thing for me, and that's to live your life for me. If you quit drinking and live your life for me, I'll give you your own kitchen by age 50. So I just started to speak it until it took place. 50 now, Kitchen.
What you also have in your past is Legal Seafood,
Yes.
Sheraton Hotel,
Yes.
Harvard, MIT.
Yes.
So what's the difference between working there and having your own place?
I get to change the menu whenever I want. That's the beauty of owning your own business. And for me, I mean, the important thing in terms of my business is that I just want to give back. You don't see a lot of the bigger chains, the bigger franchises doing a lot for the community, like directly in the community. So I'm partnering with some of the local schools. The Marshall School is one of them. The Helen Y. Davis, which is actually right behind 50 Kitchen, partner with that school as well. And I'm going to mentor the youth. Based on their academic grades, they're going to be able to come into the kitchen and they're going to have a day in the life with me. And they're going to get credit for that day, and I'm going to teach them how to run an operation on a day-to-day basis.
You sound like someone who likes to work even creatively in a kitchen. What made that happen?
Oh, I just love the beauty of it. So when I was incarcerated, I saw one of the culinary instructors literally take parsley, and he just sprinkled it, and it changed everything about that plate. I was mesmerized. I was like, how do I do that? Teach me how to do that.
Now, the other thing is you're sprinkling fresh parsley. Now, there are a lot of us, who buy these cans or little jars and we shake it out.
Yeah.
Talk about the world of difference between that and what you were doing.
Well, fresh, fresh ingredients. You're always going to get the most of the flavor out of a fresh ingredient. Dry herbs, they're not that bad, but they're also dehydrated. So you get the best of the flavor when you use fresh ingredients. Fresh is always good.
Now, you have a plan to open a fusion restaurant, and what's in this fusion exactly?
So, based on the demographics of the Fields Corner community, it's a highly populated Vietnamese area. So what I decided to do, I decided to take Southern American cuisine along with Asian and marry the two. So what I'll do is I'll take something as simple as a Southern dish, like a beef brisket slider, but I'll put like a pickled Vietnamese slaw on top of it. So that's the fusion piece of it.
I have to admit, I tried Asian and Cuban when I was younger, but where did you discover that those two things went together so well?
I mean, you just have to practice. There's a lot of books that I read. There's a really good book called Culinary Artistry. One of the chefs gave it to me back when I was working for Legal Seafood, and it actually shows you how to pair different ingredients. There's also a really good book, too, called The Flavor Bible. Flavor Bible is a really good book that teaches you how to marry flavors and create really strong flavor profiles.
This is BNN News, and we're talking with Chef Anthony Caldwell from 50 Kitchen. Anthony, one of the things you did to recently lay some groundwork for this restaurant is the food pop-up that took place on July 14th. What happened with that?
Oh, the community came out in such a strong way. I mean, the support was overwhelming. We took lots of pictures. There's a lot of hashtag 50Kitchen, hashtag 50K for 50K. It was really great. The community came out. They really supported. We was able to give away some giveaways, and they were able to taste food, and they were just really just raving about how excited they are about the restaurant coming. So I'm really excited. There's a lot that we're going to get done over there in the Fields Corner community.
Of course, what you also had to do in winning the competition here is that you don't have to be just a good chef. You had to do some other things. So what did you bring to the table for that?
So you had to bring your business plan. They definitely wanted to see your numbers. You had to bring them a pro forma because they wanted to make sure that you actually knew what you were talking about in terms of starting a business. You can't just, have the plan to open up a business and you don't know how to count the numbers. Because if you can't count the numbers, there's a lot of businesses to this day that open up the door and like within a year's time, the doors are closed because they just don't manage money properly. So you had to, make sure that you really knew what you were talking about.
And of course, when you plan to donate leftover food to a shelter, it's a good concept, but you got to have a plan for making that work, right? Don't you?
Sure. So I'm going to partner with the Pine Street Inn, also Rosie's Place, and we're going to donate all the food that can't be sold in the restaurant, but it's still edible. The other thing that we're going to do is, because what I understand is that the people that are sleeping over the sewers and on park benches and under bridges, those are the people that are, this is just my personal opinion, that are kind of like forgotten about. So in the wintertime, we're going to get a van or a car, and we're going to go about these areas, Copley Square and, Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan, South End area, and we're going to pass out hot meals to people in the summertime that are sleeping on those park benches, that are sleeping over those sewers, that are sleeping up under those bridges, because those people matter too.
Now, another attraction for me on Dorchester Avenue, where at least when I go to places that serve food, is the mix of people. What do you see at 50 Kitchen?
Ooh, Fields Corner is a very diverse area. So our slogan is beautiful food for beautiful people. In my personal opinion, because we're all creations of, in God's image, every single walk of life, in my personal opinion, is a beautiful soul. So everybody's welcome. The way the pop-up was packed with people, there's going to be multicultural people that's going to visit 50 Kitchen. And we're going to have something for everybody that walks through that door.
And beautiful people also mean some crowdfunding. And how's that going, and how can people get involved with that?
Yes, so there's 9 more days left of the crowdfunding, where our goal is to reach $50,000 to help with the build out of the restaurant. People can go on to www.50kitchen.com, and on the home page it says view our campaign. If they were to click that link, that will then forward them over to the Indiegogo campaign where they can donate.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Chef Anthony Caldwell from 50 Kitchen.
Thank you.